But there's no such person who knows the lot.
Yeah.
There's no such person. We all learn. We continually learn every day. No matter how old you are, you learn something new. You meet younger people like yourself. You learn from them too. It's a strange thing. It's not because of age. Age helps, but you constantly learn. There's no such person who knows the lot.
The music that I go for is jazz, smooth jazz, a little bit of rock and roll, but music is the happiest time in life. Even if it's classical, it's music. And it makes me so happy. I'm gonna cry in a minute, I don't want to. But that's my happiness.
I traveled a great deal after I met my last partner, and he was on the World War II bombers, the B-17 and the B-24, that travel around the country and are still traveling around the country. They come into Hyannis every year, about September. And so for the years before he left the planes, I would go out because I worked and could have a 3 or 4 week vacation, which was perfect because I could go out, pick up the planes wherever they were, and then travel with them, and then leave from wherever, a month later or 3 weeks later when I was coming back.
Can I show you that? There's a picture telling you all the battles I was in.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. So you got inducted to the military on June 8th, 1943.
Yeah.
In Boston.
Yeah.
And in active service on June 22nd.
And these are the battles. Did you see the battles like what was in?
Normandy, northern France.
Northern France.
Rhineland.
Ardennes.
Yeah. Central Europe.
Central, yeah.
Yeah. Good conduct medal, victory medal. Wow.
I graduated from Watertown High School in 1943.
Yeah.
And I went to my place to bring all the military guys. And I went there with my mother, and I told my mother, if you want to come, I don't want you to cry. And she held my hand, and I got on a streetcar, went down to Harvard Square, and to Mass Ave, and I went to the place where they discharged me. Oh. But that's where I started as we went to Camp Devens, Fort Devens, to be put into the service. They gave us our uniforms, they gave us all the needles that we needed. First time I was getting needles, I never thought I was getting needles, and I scared in the hell of the needles.
This was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was on my bunk and just laying there listening to the radio. This is before even TV was popular. And this guy on the radio says, and now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start a new program. We want all the young single men in radio land to call me, and they will instantly be put right on radio. And what I want them to do is to tell me the kind of young lady they are seeking. And I want all the young single women to call me and let me know what kind of guy that they're looking for, and everybody will hear them on radio. So, as I recall, it went sort of like the first guy that called and everybody in Radio Land could hear him, was, well, I'm looking for a young lady that's interested in walking the beach. And the second call was from a guy. He was interested in women that enjoyed reading in the library. And the third one, and I got on the horn talking to Radio Land and told everybody that I was interested in somebody that was plump. And it wasn't 2 minutes, it wasn't more than 2 minutes later, and my future wife called me. And the rest of the story is history.
Well, the Boston schools were very, very good schools. I mean, we learned more. I didn't realize how well they were until I moved out to the world, further out. Yeah, downtown Boston. Oh, one thing I have to make sure that I say, it was very diverse. That's one of the wonderful things that I found out when I moved on to California, because I was able then to interact with anybody, because we had all nationalities, downtown, South End, Boston, Massachusetts, for 31 years.
And where did you go to college after that? Or did you go to college at all?
Yes, I went to Ohio State. I had been salivating over Harvard catalogs and things of that sort, but this was the Depression period, and my parents were thrifty Scots people, and they could have afforded maybe to send me someplace, but the senior scholarships tests were taken. All high school seniors took scholarship tests, and I ranked high enough in the state that they gave me a free scholarship to Ohio State. So as soon as that happened, that nixed the Harvard deal. But
I did my best to teach them and to tell them you have to study. Come over. You don't understand it? Sit down. I explained to you as much as I could. But when he found out that the education is good, when he came back from the war in Iraq, he was a Marine. He came back and he said, Daddy, I want to go to university. Good thing. I said, go. He needs some money here, help me. But I am glad that they recognize, and I am glad to hear that they keep saying, Daddy, you were the best daddy in the world. I am glad to hear that. That's something that my kids recognize the effort that I did so they can have a good education.
I was born with the art and the gift of drawing anything I look at, so the only thing is that I do it my own way. And maybe if I had gone to art school, they would have shown me other ways of doing things, you know. So, no, but I made sure my two went to college.
What made my life going into the future was getting drafted in the Army, and of course, that basically, stabilized me when I come out. And like I said, I went to electronic school and get into the electronic field, and then from there, working in the field. That's when I went to Northeastern and furthered my education and stayed in that field.
I was under several of the ladies there who did the testing of people who were sick or otherwise, and then went over to the state lab, did a 6-week tour of duty over there, testing for all the blood that had to be tested. Now, for people to get married, you had to have the test, and there are other tests going on too. And then back to Faulkner Hospital and finishing up with more testing of blood, testing of the heart. And that test, we had all kinds of finger pricks, a little bit of everything at that place. And then I finished there, and that was, I was engaged already, so my husband said, time to get married. So I got married, and he said, you're not to work, you were to stay home and have children. So which I did, 3 children.
There was no family life, and I wanted a family. So I left baseball altogether, never looked back, and I entered Holy Cross College in Worcester. And I was the oldest of my class. I graduated when I was 27 years old. And then I went into the insurance business, and I went into the building business, and then I became a mortgage broker.
Wow.
And I did very well on all of them. And here I am, 94 years old, born June 26, 1924, in St. Elizabeth's Hospital.
Well, I was the first girl to have a paper route in Worcester. My brother and his friend were going to St. John's, and so I took over both their routes. It was 250 people. And it was all 3 deckers in Worcester, and I couldn't throw the papers up to the 3rd floor, so I used to run up every day, every day.
My doodles, I have, they're symbolic, you know, after doing a lot of study, going to the library, and psychology, and psychiatry. It's just been an interesting journey all these many years, looking it up, and church, the diversity in my artwork, it goes along with all my different classworks and, you know, searching. It's been a beautiful journey, not being 92, you know, sort of years.
I went into documents. I have a great history in America, or great liking for American history, particularly the presidents. And so I decided one day, geez, wouldn't it be neat to have something written by one of these guys, you know?
Yeah.
There, you knew that he had his hand, old Thomas Jefferson had his hand right on that. So I started buying presidential documents, and when I ended up with all the presidents, and I had another set, and then well along on a 3rd with some of the easy ones like Calvin Coolidge and so forth, and decided to go into the business. So then I was in the business for about 20 years here. I'm just tapering off now. I sold them all over the world. I used to run ads in Autograph magazine, 3-page ads, and somebody, if you can imagine this, would call from Stockholm, Sweden, and want to know if I have James Buchanan. I'll figure that one out.
Well, when you get to be 85, you have to, you know, you relax a bit, you know? You're not going to, well, you know, I guess it's up to you. But a guy who drove me home from the church I sang at last Saturday, he surprised me. I said, you must be, I must be older than you by far. Says he, I'm 90. I only took him to be 80. I honestly thought he was younger than me. Says I, you beat me? I don't, you look great. And he's driving me, you know, say no medical condition. I say, I'm fine. Well, so I'll be a son of a gun.
I got one of the rocks in the other room, and I didn't know what to put on it. So I wrote, enjoy every moment. And I think that's good advice. Even the bad ones, you're learning something every time, every moment. And take that. That's going to help you grow into who you are.
I just enjoy being able to enjoy life as it's coming to me now. Yes, there's going to be sickness, there's going to be death, but hey, that's the way the world works. And you got to say while you're in it, and what I tell you, love and happiness and joy. It's all you need in life.